I hate to make this video, but I can no longer recommend this game. The people that run it don't care about you at all. All the negative reviews are true. I used to lie to myself. I thought maybe they were just exaggerating, but deep down I knew it was true. It doesn't matter if you're a backer or if you've been playing for thousands of hours. They'll ban you on no second thought if you dare criticize the game or give any negative feedback. Just look into discussions. They have banned people for giving criticism on things such as like shout aggro range. It's clearly an issue. Like mobs will pull through ceilings and through floors below you and through walls. I mean, that was actually my very first question when they're on the very first AMA on Reddit. Are they ever going to fix the pull aggro? So this has been around for years, and they never answered my question on that. Curious enough. They'll say, "Oh, put this in the suggestions in game or bug report in game," and I get it. You know, it's formatting and they use it for their reports, but it's honestly low-key a way of just shutting down any sort of discussion around it because it's unsavory. If you try to give any feedback in-game or on their Discord, you'll be met with extreme criticism and people trying to like pick apart and debunk you. And even though it could be something as simple as just an opinion, like for example, I used to talk about weather witching back when they said it wasn't going to be a thing, and everybody was saying, "Oh, don't talk about that. We don't need to talk about that anymore because it's not going to happen." And then lo and behold, it happens, and they treated me like an asshole for it. Or the time I talked about how the current tanking meta is complete ass. Like you only have like two realistic tanks: Cow and Unarmed, or Staff and Shield. There's some little minor things like Warden, but honestly, those are your only two tanks right now. And I mentioned ways how you could circumvent that, like extreme threat mods, so everybody could tank, you know, because they could hold aggro. And, you know, I was just having this general discussion in a guild, and somebody responds with, "Oh, it's fine the way it is. So-and-so likes it. You just gotta do it." You know, just the whole debunking thing. You just can't talk about anything in this game. And if you decide to address people constantly nitpicking you, like, "Hey, like, it's totally fine, you know, this and that," people will start calling you an asshole. "Oh, why are you getting aggressive," or, you know, whatever. And then, like, you know, mods or admins will pop in and say, "Okay, everybody, break it up," even though you literally did nothing but defend your argument, defend yourself from people constantly picking at you. Yet prior to that, nobody even gave a shit about what they were saying. But as soon as you said something, now you're the problem and you're guaranteed to be the one that's going to get actioned. And if you bring it up to an admin like, "Hey, how come you didn't do anything to these people?" and they'll just sum it up to, "Oh, just listen to the mods and we won't have an issue." And if you try to give them a detailed explanation, they basically say, "We don't want to hear it. Keep it up, and we'll ban you." So they pretty much shut down any sort of resolution on your behalf. You're always going to be the one at fault. Hell, one of the admin's whole personalities is just banning people. He'll sit down in world chat talking about, "Oh, I don't like just being able to one-click ban people. I want to be able to do stuff to them, like, you know, put them in prison or this and that." I'm thinking to myself, shouldn't you be worried about, like, community relations and, you know, doing events, not, you know, how to fuck with people all the time? The moderators and staff literally have no remorse or compassion for anybody. They're stone cold as fuck. They'll stonewall you. You can give like a pretty emotional response and they just basically say, like, "I don't give a fuck, stop talking to me." So I even had an instance where a moderator was stalking me in the Discord because I No, I threw a little diss at him, like subtly. I didn't call him by name or anything. And he started following me around in threads, like I could see his name pop in when I clicked it. And then I went to normal chat. And the second I typed something, it was instantly deleted. He's like, "Go to help with that." And then I responded with something like, "Damn, like this is boot camp or Discord?" And then he's pinged the admin like, "Okay, ban him now." And then they, banned me for an hour or whatever. And that's targeted harassment there. And they don't do a thing about it because they're buddies. And the Discord's full of like moderator approved points of view. Like they'll literally pin messages they agree with. And if they don't like what you say, then they'll say, "Oh, get that out of here. Go put that in a thread." And all the threads are dead. Like even the one the mod or the head developer themselves made is dead. You get like one response a day at that. I personally know a few players that were permabanned that were backers. I'm talking people that paid over $500 for their backer packages, and they're permabanned now. I know of at least two, and I knew them a little bit, in game, and they were fairly nice people. A little spicy, some things you would say, but by no means I would ever permaban them. That's just their first resolution for everything. Instead of understanding this is adult, oriented game, has sex themes and all that shit and cuss words. Instead, they just say, "Oh, well, you might have offended somebody, so we're just going to ban you now." The forums themselves are completely dead and full of bots. Even the moderators admit it's just a bot haven there. They have backer perks for the forums where you're supposed to get a title. There's hundreds of people that should have that title right now, but not a single person has it. And even if they did, it'd be useless because nobody uses the forums. And I suggested they put the, title on the Discord so people that earn the backer package would get it there. But no, they shut that down too, of course, because, you gotta shut down everything. As for the game itself, it's going downhill. They introduced level brackets, and it's pretty shit. Because if you manage to kill mobs higher level than you actually get less EXP. I don't understand why they didn't just cap it instead of giving you diminishing returns. And if you kill mobs lower level than you get like a fraction of a level, like 0.05%. So you gotta kill, thousands upon thousands for a single level. So you're ultimately forced to go to higher zones and higher mobs. But the way gear works is gear is complete RNG. And the way you get gear is complete RNG, and your class combination is, unless it's meta, you're gonna struggle. And there's only a few zones you can actually reliably farm in, because once you get into Cur, then you're really gonna struggle, because you can't get insulated armor at all right off the bat. You have to farm the favor and either farm the mobs to get barter or farm the leatherworking to make it. And even then, it doesn't do shit. And either that, or you craft a shit ton of campfires, or you use a shit ton of wood to light campfires. And then some people use the argument, "Oh, you gotta drink this very specific cold potion. That'll really do the trick." And they're missing the point, is like, why would you do any of this when you could literally just walk into a dungeon and not have to deal with any of it and probably get better results? In other words, there's dead content everywhere. Nobody's farming in Illimari Desert. The mobs are way too compact and they hit way too hard. Nobody's farming in Cur because it's way too cold and costs too much money to sustain yourself. Nobody's farming in Guzlak. Same deal with Cur. Too damn cold, and the mobs are super compact. You got Rahu. You got a couple spots you could do, but you're not farming out in the desert where there's like 10,000 mobs circle jerking each other, or the fire mages in the middle of town that'll aggro with merchants on a drop of a dime and kill you. Then they completely did away with max enchanted crafting, which is basically endgame gearing. And I get it a little bit why they did that, because it was pretty OP compared to drop gear. But now they're trying to basically make it like War Forging and Titan Forging in WoW, where it's like, oh, you have a chance of getting like plus a few stats, and that's fucking stupid. No, it's lame. Like, give us some sort of customization where, you know, it's guaranteed, and then we could customize it from there to fit our playstyle. Because, you know, everybody's gonna get plus 5% damage. All the damage dealers are gonna get that. Nobody's gonna grab plus 5 health. You know, nobody gives a shit about that. It's all gonna be damage. It's exactly what's gonna happen. This caused a lot of high level people to quit the game entirely, and the funny part about it is they were basically encouraged to, because the lead dev was basically saying, well, if you don't like it, then kick rocks. And eventually he realized that it was such a bad response to the change that I think he deleted the comment because I couldn't find it anywhere. And he backpedaled, and now he's like, oh, wait. But he does that for everything. Anytime there's a big backlash and changes, he's like, well, sucks to be you. The game's not for you. Maybe you should leave. Which is fucking toxic, and I don't know why you would treat your loyal fan base like that. I mentioned in Discord I was leaving, and nobody so much as reached out to me to try to convince me or try to talk me back. That they don't give a fuck if you leave. They'd probably prefer it, so they have this little tiny itty bitty little hand-picked bootlickers. Sorry about my phone, but seriously, I could go all day on just the negatives. The game itself is great. I've played thousands of games. I have tens of thousands of hours in gaming in general. This is probably one of my favorite games, if not the favorite. But, you know, it's the same reason I quit WoW. I love WoW. It's my most played game. I've played it since I was a child. But the reason I quit that is the community and the people that run it don't give a fuck about you. It's like this game; they don't give a fuck about you at all. I was planning to make a guild once Orcs release, and try to get the community more involved with each other. Make events and all that. I was gonna have this cool group of people and stuff. I had other videos lined up. I had memes being made for the game, for the Discord, for just publicity. I was trying to get the name of the game out there, but unless the staff and moderators get a huge revamp on the way they conduct themselves, I would never recommend this game ever. I don't know if they'll ban me for posting this, but I'll keep you updated on that, because you know how much I hate criticism. I wish you all the best. I'll miss the game a lot, but they won't miss me.